Hi, I'm Jacqueline Snyder, and this is the Product Boss Podcast. I've helped launch and grow thousands of product-based businesses, even one of my own. And over the last 20 years, I've seen behind the scenes of businesses just like yours. Whether they are makers, manufacturers, artists, or food and beverage businesses, I have spent so many hours studying it all. I've discovered what makes them successful, what mistakes they could have avoided, how did they turn their ideas into a successful business, and what are the strategies that they have used to make more sales and be discovered by more customers. And this is what this show is all about. Whether you're just starting out or you're looking to become $1 million product boss, I'm here to give you the permission to chase your dreams, no matter how big or small. All you need is the right mindset, a little courage, strategy, and support, and you too can be the next $1 million product boss. Let's do this. Oh my goodness, friends. If you are anything like me, you probably spend more time running errands than running your business. Am I right? Like everything needs something. We got to run around. And I knew that this was like a major issue for me back in the day, which is why I decided to get help where I could. And I decided to let Instacart handle all of my grocery shopping. So I no longer had to worry about running all the errands and having to run out and get more almond milk for my lattes. Rather, I was like, you know what? We're just going to let Instacart handle that. So I want you to imagine skipping the store and getting back to designing, packaging orders, making, or maybe actually taking a break, even a nap. Remember those? Okay, so with Instacart, you can get groceries and essentials delivered in as fast as an hour so you can focus on growing your business without sacrificing a meal. Plus, less stress and more focus. And here's a tip. I've actually used Instacart before to order gifts from my daughter's friends' birthday parties because I haven't had time to run out and get presents. And I've been able to get the packaging, like the gift bag and the gift, like hello Sephora, delivered to my house while I was in the middle of coaching sessions so that I could have the present, right? It's like having a personal assistant without having a personal assistant. So if you want to do what I do and get the help where you can try it now if you head to theproductboss.com/Instacart. Hey, product bosses. Welcome back to another coaching episode. This is where we're going to fix what's happening in product bosses' businesses, and welcome to the Product Boss Podcast. So today I'm excited to look under the hood and help Ashley Terrell. She is the founder of Saints and Ivy. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see what we can fix in her business because she has a brand new children's pajama company that's just getting started. And you might be thinking, okay, wait, she's just getting started. How can we fix it? Well, how can we fix these foundations that she's laying? So many times I hear some of my students say, if only I had done this earlier, if only I had done this in the very beginning stages, whether it was just starting out or just in the very beginning, I would have laid a stronger foundation. So some of us, yeah, sure, we're down the line. We're always going to be learning. We're always going to be fixing. And some of us are like, oh, let's see how we can handle this in the very beginning. I mean, we all have launched something new, but maybe you're at the newer part of the season for you in this business. Maybe you're in that early stage of building a business, but I know you've done this before, then you know this feeling. We have a lot of passion for our product. We've got a lot of excitement behind it. And we're wondering, okay, I've got this thing, I've got this idea, I'm so excited, but how do I actually get people to see it? How do I get them to know about it? How do I get them to buy it? So Ashley came into this coaching session feeling stuck on sales, right? She wasn't sure. How do I grow a following on social media is a question that she'll ask. Or am I even posting the right kind of content to grow a following and sell my stuff? And like so many of us at the start, or actually you're probably thinking, actually, I'm still having that conversation. I've been doing this for 10 years. We might be thinking, what am I supposed to do? Why isn't my audience growing? What am I supposed to post on social? How do I get people to actually find me and buy from me, right? This is literally whether you're just starting out or you have truthfully, these big businesses, like let's just call it like a Nike, a Lululemon, whatever. They have teams asking this question because things are constantly changing. So in this episode, I'm going to share snippets from a coaching call that I had with Ashley that helped her build a plan to increase her visibility, right? We got to fix this plan. We got to fix and figure out how do we actually get visibility and people to know we exist. And then we had to really talk about how are we going to connect with the ideal customer, that one customer, and build an audience around that. And then when we know all this, what are we going to do in our business so that we can actually market and grow sales? So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's dive in. Ashley, I'm so excited to work with you today and to do this coaching call and really see how we can really move your pajama business, this brand new business, into being known by families across America and across the world. So thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me. So your biggest struggle is sales, and you want to talk about this sales, figuring out what's the problem, what's causing the lack of sales, and the best approach for utilizing social media and increasing visibility. So I think really what it is yes and. So yes, sales, but it's probably awareness that your brand exists, and then that awareness, and then the parts there. So you kind of need an offer, an audience, and how you're going to make the sales. So I'm on your Instagram. It's super cute. You got 92 followers. It's fine. You just started, and no one makes it easy to grow online. So tell me right now, you're just selling direct to consumer online?
Correct.
Okay.
Took some time, put a website together, and I launched it via Instagram pretty much. I thought that I would be able to build a good amount of followers by doing a giveaway when I first launched, but I didn't see too much success with it, to be very honest. So I didn't do another one. I planned on doing another one. I was like, maybe I should slow down and, try to build, a following. I do struggle a little bit with content. I think I struggle a little bit with it because I'm unclear of what's appropriate for me to post as far as like kid stuff and what the parent wants to see. And then I think the other side of it is I felt like I was posting so much of the same stuff. So I noticed with a lot of my competitors, they go on and they release all these designs almost like back to back. One of my competitors actually drops a new design like every week, which I obviously can't keep up with as a new brand. So I felt like I was posting the same thing, and it just kind of got to a point like, I shouldn't keep posting the same onesie, same designs over and over. So that, obviously became a challenge.
Here's where I want to hit pause again, because here is the next crucial step. What Ashley's facing right now is not a product problem. Again, you're going to hear me talk about this a lot because as I've been really just working and fixing my business and my messaging, and really as I've fully taken ownership of the Product Boss, because if you've been around historically or you listen to any episodes like 200 episodes ago, I decided to buy this business from my co-founder. And our paths diverged. We went in two different ways. And for a long time, I was sort of still one foot into the way we were doing it and one foot into like, how do I want to do this? How do I want to coach? What do I want to do? Well, I fully moved fully into my version. Okay. That's where I am now. And one of the things that I've been seeing is so many times we are thinking about our businesses from the product's perspective. Like, how do we fix the product? We got to lower the product. We got to make the price this. Da, 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 da. And the product's really important, but the product isn't the thing that is why you're going to sell. It's how the product fits with your customer, what your customer is aware of. And here too, it's also not her price point, because sometimes we're like, well, if I just lower the price, maybe that would bring in my right customer. And in this too, it's not even the quality of the photos or even her website. These are not, you might be like, maybe this is broken, maybe this is broken. Yes, all of these can get fixed, updated, fine-tuned always. But what we're realizing here is actually what we really have to fix is the awareness. It's an awareness problem. Not enough of the right people know she exists. Her one customer, like her one ideal customer, and you're going to learn this in my program, right? You're going to learn this in the Product Biz Fix. We talk about the one right ideal customer. If that person, and there's many people out there that are the same, if they don't know that her business exists, then she's got this awareness problem. They're never going to buy because they don't know she exists. And honestly, this is where so many small business owners get tripped up. They start to question everything. They think, okay, well, maybe it's the product. Maybe I got to make more products, or maybe it's the price. I got to lower the price. Like maybe it's too expensive, or even you're looking at it and you're like, what does this look like? Like maybe, I don't know, maybe I got to do this. But really, and I help you with all of this because yes, we do have to fix our product or make sure it's the right one. Yes, we do have to make sure that our price is completely aligned with our ideal customer. And yes, the packaging should be like a cute guy at a bar or cute girl at a bar or cute person at a bar where you're like, ooh, hello, Jason Momoa. I'd like to come have a conversation with you. Yes, that's my celebrity crush. And he's the exact opposite of my husband, but that's okay because it's a whole other conversation, guys. But the packaging is something that's going to attract them, right? You're going to walk over across the bar and be like, hey, what's up? But the deal here is it doesn't matter if you are real cute in a bar where nobody is. or that perfect person isn't, right? Because the real issue, I know I'm going on a tangent, but the real issue here is that there's just simply not enough eyeballs on her business yet. There's not enough eyeballs. So, what I helped Ashley see in this session is that she has something really special. She has a mission driven brand with a beautiful product and a deep purpose behind it. Her pajamas aren't just cute sleepwear. They represent her vision for inclusivity, for cultural representation, and for showing children the joy of seeing themselves reflected in the designs they wear. This is an incredible, incredible business. And the unfortunate part about all of this is that none of it is going to matter if no one knows her brand exists. So before we even talk about sales, we need to talk about how she's going to get known, how people are going to discover her, how they're going to find her, how she's going to show up, how to get visible. Because, my friend, awareness comes first. People need to know you exist, your brand exists, your business exists, and then the sales will follow. So let's jump back in and you'll see how I help Ashley identify the one customer, her target customer, right? Her ideal audience. And I want to remind you, we're not selling to everyone. If you sell to everyone, you're selling to no one. And this is a huge fix. You got to be the right fit. And we're going to develop and work and build her brand, especially her brand voice.
Do you think you're funny or serious, like in your brand and brand message? Like, where do you want to be helpful to moms? Like, hey, moms, if your toddler is like out of their mind, this is helpful. Or, oh my God, being a mom with a toddler is like having a bull in your kitchen or something. Like, which way do you think you want to go?
To be honest, I wish I could be like myself because I truly do have a toddler. I have a 2-year-old and I'm a little bit of both. I can be very, you know what I mean, strict and old fashioned, but I can also laugh a lot of things off because I feel like you kind of have to as a parent. You know what I mean? Yes, you have to guide them at the same time. Some of the stuff they do is really funny. And sometimes we have to laugh at ourselves because we're like at our highest stress point. So I have to laugh and just get a kick out of stuff. So I feel like the true me is a mixture of both. And I wish I could give that in my social media. Like, that's what I would love to give. I think I've posted stuff where, you know, I have my kids that are like literally dancing outside of the tub. And that's literally what it is. It's like to get them dressed and ready to go to sleep. One goes to sleep, the other plays in the crib. So it's like giving just a mixture. I don't want to be pinned to one. You know what I mean? Because
that's okay. I want you to stay authentic to you, but I want us to kind of come up with some content because what's going to start now is what goes viral is going to hook. It's like you're fishing. So what goes viral is going to hook them in and then they're going to stay for the other content. So I was trying to find, there's this like hilarious, like, have you seen any of the content where like the stay-at-home moms that are like, my kid wanted a juice box. So then like 3.5 hours later, they like made a juice box from scratch.
Yes, I know of one particular person.
Okay. And so, and like, for example, this is like when everyone's posting about their 24, but I'm just, you know, trying to survive. Like this is one of my friends and she went viral for this. She probably saw something like this, did it, and it actually went pretty viral for her. So I think what I want you to do is you might want to just start saving content. And even in your For You page or whatever, like your scroll is, because it'll show you content that you're attracted to. You're a mom. You are your customer. So start to save it and then think, what of this feels like I want to put it out there? So is it parenting, you know, tips? Like this is like 3 books every parent should read. Well, if he went viral with that, you could do your own 3 books every parent should read.
Right. Okay.
Right. And then like, let's say this is Stu McLaren, who's a coach, but like, he's talking about it. It was a random thing that he's doing. And, you know, you could see like how many likes and you can do something like that. Cause that's something that moms are going to share with each other. What we want is we want them to believe and know, like, and trust you so that they're going to be like, you know, whatever. This one was hilarious. They imitate Ariana and Cynthia
from Wicked.
But let's just pretend you found this and you're like, oh, I think this could go. Cause this could be like my kid when I tell her to go to sleep at night, but she won't go to sleep without me. Right. If that felt like something that was connected to you, or because you do PJs, you could be serious about it. And you could be like ways for good sleep habits with kids, or like, what does your mom also want on social media to support her in being a mom, which is more than the PJs.
Got it. Okay.
This is just without you running ads, without you like necessarily, I'm saying all this just because you're going to just test and try. And none of this is set. I'm so obsessed with this story that this is what my page is showing up with. But the other thing you do is you go on your reels and anything that looks like it's gone viral. So this is this. I teared up watching my mom experience mushrooms for the first time because I'd seen her this happy and free my whole life, right? But if this is going trendy, 366,000 views, it will also go viral for you if you take and you could remix this reel, you put it on top, and you might be like my toddler when I tell him it's time for bath time.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Out there running around and like, you're like, you know, you make up something and so you post something that is going viral for someone else, then make it make sense to your customer.
Right.
And it will go viral for you as well. So this is not like attract content and you'll test and try and then see what does. And so if you just scroll your pages, you'll see ones that like did go viral enough. And it could be funny that you're like, oh yeah, that's totally how like a parent feels. And then you try and use it. Does that make sense? I know I'm spending a lot of time on it.
Yeah, no. It does. It definitely does. Just kind of finding what's out there, what's doing well, remixing it so that it works for content for my followers and my moms and aunts and things like that. Yeah.
Like this one, she did 12 things I'd never use again in my kitchen as a cancer survivor. Okay. Let's say you found this and it went viral. You might say 10 things I'll never use in my kitchen for my kids because they cause cancer.
Gotcha.
So what we really want people to do is we want them to just associate parenting, taking care of their kids, and a reason they would follow you. And it won't be as clear as when we were going on to, you know, the Posh Peanut, because they're running a lot of money in ads. They can really establish themselves as a brand now. And they don't have the most engagement on their pieces. Because imagine it just being kind of almost like a billboard. Like when we scroll, we're not interacting with any of this. We're like, oh, there's Posh Peanut. Keep going. And then we're going to watch the lady on mushrooms running around, right? Yeah. So that's going to be the way that you start to attract and grow your audience. And it does not have to be so serious that you feel like, oh, I messed up. No, just keep going. Okay.
Yeah. And I think I struggle with like the whole perfection thing because I'm like, that looks dumb. That looks weird. It doesn't make sense because I see a lot of my competitors and they're so polished. Everything looks so polished. And, you know, it's just kind of intimidating as a small business. I'm like, their stuff is perfect.
Well, the thing is that for you, like you're not going to grow right now online the way that they did, because if they started a long time ago, they'd either running a lot of money in ads and that's just drawing attention. They've got a more established brand. So right now you're just going to play in this playground the way that it's asking you to play, which is really what Instagram's really doing well with right now is virality. So what we want is things that people share with other people. They're probably not going to share these PJs, but we want the PJs to be there because when they come, I don't want them to think you're just like a whole gag thing, but we want that to be there. We want this to be here. But what they're going to share is like I share all the time with my best friend, like the crazy mom things or whatever. Right. And so I want you to just start to find what you're attracted to. I want to be helpful, or I want to be like, haha, look how funny this is. Take pieces that are viral and just shift it to like a parent and what parents would want to see. And then that'll start to guide you. Okay.
Okay.
So that's attract. Bond is going to be same thing. It might just be like new collection drop. This is bond, you know, like user generated content is bond, meaning if you sent me stuff and I'm unboxing it, or I send you a picture of my kid wearing it, that's bond content. This is kind of bond content, like fun, like behind the scenes type content. And then convert content is either, join a giveaway or Black Friday sale or new product drop or new collection or anything like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A good person to follow, Glass Ladder. She doesn't do what you do specifically, but I just want to give you like another example. She's a student of mine. So she does these vegan totes. Glass Ladder is like a girl trying to climb the glass ladder to reach the glass ceiling. So they're vegan for women who work, but now she's expanding. She's very good at creating her own content. She is kind of the face of her brand in a lot of ways, and you can also tell like who her ideal customer is.
Right.
It's great to look at she does know how to do viral, and she also does these drops. So like she'll tell you new collection coming out, and she'll actually like start to like tease out what's happening. So she's just really good and fun to follow from a tease perspective. So where I want to take you back to here is what I want you to do is come up with a rhythm. So how often do you think within your capacity you can post on social?
I could make time to do it a couple of times a week.
Okay. Do we think that we can do 5 times a week, once a day for the 5 days and not the weekends?
Probably.
Okay. Let's just pretend we do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going to do that, I want you to do 2 attract, 2 bond, and 1 convert a week. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine you go viral in any capacity. Even you getting 1,000 views is going to be bigger than what you've been doing, right?
Right.
1,000 views, the algorithm starts to pay attention to you. Then those people who watched it that maybe follow you or they don't follow you, your content might still show up. So if then the next day you post a bond piece of content, that might show up, which starts to get them to know, like, trust and bond with you. You
Okay.
then send the convert one the next day. I'm not saying they're going to buy immediately, but they might see it because they're starting. And so what happens is Instagram's like, oh, these people are interacting with your content. I'm going to keep pushing it in front of them.
All right, friend, let's pause here for a second because I want to pull back the curtain on what's really going on for Ashley. So she's at the very beginning of building her audience. And maybe that's where some of you are right now too. You've got the product, you've got the website, maybe even a giveaway here and there, right? But it still feels like crickets on social. And I know, this can feel so discouraging, but here's the thing. It's normal. It's totally normal. So whether you're just starting out or when you're just starting out, growing your audience to get customers will feel like pushing a boulder uphill. It does. And it kind of is at different stages of your business and what you want to do. And again, like I said, those algorithms, my God, we feel like we figured it out. Reels were working. And then it's like, oh, no. Now we want carousels, which is why, I never love to like fully rely on social, which is why I teach you all how to grow your businesses organically. But I know that we have to do this. And this is a formula that I've used to like really, really grow my business. It's something that I've taught to my students over and over and over. And it's the formula to help you make progress. And it's just a framework that you can really hold in your head. So when you're thinking, how do I do this? You're like, okay, wait. It's as easy as the ABCs. And what are those? It's attract content, bond content, and convert content. Okay. It's the ABCs of content. Now, this is a method I like to teach my students because it helps them get noticed on social media. It helps them go viral on social media. And they can also use this in the same way of sending emails or any bit of content that you're putting out there. And it really helps build and create trust. And the whole point of awareness of your brand, right? We're attracting the right customers, the right customers. We don't just need to grow for growing's sake. We want the right people that will turn into customers, that they get that know, like, trust, which is the bond. And when you nail both of those, the ultimate goal is that we turn these followers into customers. So Ash and I worked together to create a rhythm for her social media content based around the ABCs of content. So it's a super simple plan to consistently show up and start building because she wants to build a following from the ground up. And if you're listening and you think that's me too, just know it's possible. Okay, let's jump back in. Hey friends. Okay. So I don't know if you're anything like me, but sometimes it feels like my self-care routine is slipping through the cracks because when I'm juggling and wearing all the hats in my business and doing all the things, I mean, the last thing I have to do is like really fulfill that self-care routine that my daughter's talking about. She's like, Mom. So listen, so when it comes to running a successful business, you can't really pour from an empty cup. And a lot of times that self-care is like one of the first things to get yourself recalibrated. So that's why I want you to meet Gloci. Now, Gloci is my favorite daily beauty supplement designed to transform your skin and gut health from the inside out. And I'm actually an investor in this business because I so believe in this idea of science-backed ingredients for digestion and skin hydration. And Gloci makes it really easy to look and feel your best without that whole 10-step routine in the mirror, the thing I don't actually have time for. All I have to do is simply mix a stick into my water and I'm good to go. So if you want to try this, because I so believe in this business, I think it's amazing. It's done so many wonders for my skin and my gut, which are two things that I need help with. And you want to simplify your wellness and your beauty, all you have to do is click in the show notes and you can use the code Jacqueline Snyder. So it's my full name. Use the code Jacqueline Snyder and I'm hooking you up with 15% off your order. So cheers to glowing skin and a thriving business. Hey, product boss. Okay, listen. If you have been selling, but things feel off, like you know your product is good, but your sales are just slow or they're unpredictable and you just don't know what's working, you don't know why your business isn't working the way you want it to, you feel stuck and you don't know what to do next, then I want to personally invite you to my brand new live workshop, From Stuck to Sales. It's 2 hours, and in that 2 hours, it can change everything. We will walk through exactly why your product isn't selling the way it should. Then we're going to fix it fast. It's a workshop. We're going to do the work together in this workshop. And you're going to leave with a simple, repeatable sales plan, messaging that connects, and clarity about who you're really selling to. So if you've been feeling like something just isn't clicking and you want to make this easier, then my friend, this is your fix. All you have to do is head to theproductboss.com/stuck. That's theproductboss.com/stuck and grab your seat now. Are you unsure of what to say on social media or what to even send in your weekly emails? Well, what if creating content could be easy? Would you be looking for a shortcut to creating consistent content? Yes, consistent content, because you know consistency is key. Well, let me tell you, you are not alone when you feel like you're struggling on what to post or what to write in emails. And we know that you have that product part of your business down. But as you're listening to this podcast, you probably already know that to get more people to your products, to buy your products, you need to create great content. Oh, I know. I keep saying content, and that's the dreaded C word. And we can't tell you how many product bosses tell us that they want to create great content for their audience and their customers, but they don't know what to say, or they are so busy they can't find the time, or they really, really, really don't want to be the face of their brand. Well, no worries, because that's exactly why we created a year of content. It is your shortcut to creating consistent content that resonates with your audience and brings more loyal customers who can't wait to buy your products. If you want to see how easy this is and how easy it is to create content for your audience and your customers, head to www.ayearofcontent.com.
So the problem isn't the product, the problem's not the price, and the problem's really not the photos. The problem is that you don't have the brand awareness. There's not enough people. Do you have an email list?
I do. I do have an email list. I have about 25 people on it. And most of them, to be honest, are probably family and friends.
Probably start.
What else was I going to ask? I was going to ask if ads are even worth it. You know, I obviously do a little bit of research in various places, listen to different people and their thoughts on it. And some have said it's worth it, you know, but you have to put a lot of money into it for it to be worth it. Some have said you need to build your organic audience first in order for it to even be effective. So just kind of curious, is it worth it since I'm not getting the organic traffic to my page?
Yeah, it is the fastest way to grow. You have a product that isn't super cheap, meaning like the average order value could help compensate for the lead because you pay for the lead, right? So if it's $35, but it costs you $25 to acquire that lead and they only buy it for $35, then you're only making $10. So the goal then would be like either we need them to come back and buy again, or they buy more, they add more to their cart because you're paying for lead acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
But it is the fastest way. It just depends on if you have a budget. So like if I were to say it could cost you $2,000 a month to pay for the ads team, and then they would want $2,000-ish a month to play with, to start, like to run ads, would that be within your budget or not really?
Probably. I probably can make it work. I mean, I do outside of this, I have a 9 to 5, so I have to still work. Luckily, I have, you know, some flexibility. I work in cybersecurity, so I work remote, but I spend a lot of, you know, time trying to make this work because I do want to walk away one day. You know what I mean? Like, I love it, but I would love to walk away and just focus on my baby Saints and Ivy. But, you know, just it's taking time and I'm trying to figure out what's the right direction to go.
I don't necessarily want, I mean, you're in tech, so you could learn how to do your own ads.
Now that we've helped Ashley understand how to grow her audience, who her customer is, how to fix this whole part right here, then I know that she's going to be set up better for the road to success because we can't sell to everyone. And now this is where the magic really happens. When we start to define who Ashley is talking to and how she wants to show up for them. This is the thing. This is how we go from stuck to selling. This is how we go from stuck to people finding us and being discoverable. Because the truth is Ashley's pajamas are beautiful and the mission behind them is powerful. But right now, what's missing is that clear connection between the brand and the customer. You got to know your customer. We've got to build the product for your customer. We've got to build the brand for your customer. And then we got to build that bridge between the two. It's not about being just another pajama company. It's about sharing why these pajamas exist, why they matter to your ideal customer, why they're for them exactly, and how to really meet them where they're at. Like, are we solving a need, a problem? Is it an identity thing where they want to feel seen, which is 100% what it is here, right? It's feeling represented. It's the feeling. It's the way that the customer feels when they interact with your product, when they buy your product, when they discover your product. And so for Ashley, that means leaning into her story. It means sharing the heart-centered reason behind her designs. Like why she wanted her daughter to see a brown-skinned ballerina in her pajamas, or why representation matters so much to her as a mom, and as it should. Let me tell you, I know this sounds funny. I'm half Middle Eastern. I am a first-generation American, and growing up in Los Angeles, you know, we know it's like I didn't know what makeup to wear. I didn't know how to dye my hair. You know, I couldn't get more blonde because I was a brunette. And I'll tell you, the Kardashians. Yes, I know I'm bringing them up again, but they were the first people that, you know, they're Armenian. And I was like, oh, I kind of can see how I can wear makeup and how I can dye my hair and I can do things because there was representation outside of what was typical. And everybody wants to see their representation and they want it to matter. And so for her, it means getting really specific about her ideal customer. You know, it's about this busy mom who is not only looking for soft, high quality, easy care pajamas, which is great. It's great about the product. But the true thing is how it feels, how not texturally, but how it makes the customer feel, how the mom feels, that it feels special to her, that it's meaningful for her and her children. It's not just another pair of pajamas, but it's one that celebrates culture, identity, and family. Can you see here how when we start to define her brand and make this connection and we're really leaning into the customer-centered business, how it starts to make her pajamas so much more than just pajamas? This is where building a brand is important and it comes in. This is because you are going to connect. It's this invisible bridge between your product and your customer because we're speaking in their language and we're speaking to things that matter most to them. And when we do that, that's when the connection happens. And that connection is what leads to conversion. It's what leads to sales.
So your ideal customer is a mom looking for convenience, and your price point is not Hannah Anderson price point. It's like you're at a good price point that's competitive with other people in your market. So we really have to figure out, what is your brand? How do you stand out in the market? Why your stuff? So what did you see that was lacking that you decided that you were going to come out with PJs, since there's so many other pajama companies?
For me is I actually wanted to, this was my first collection, but the vision I had for it was to allow my culture and things that I've experienced to bring that to the forefront of my brand. So being able to use little, and I haven't found this, and this is probably the problem, but being able to, I could see like doing prints that had, the African American Santa Claus on them, or being able to have the prints where I have little ballerinas, but they're brown skinned girl ballerinas, and I think that's where it kind of came from. Is I remember getting my daughter pajamas, and, no offense, but we're looking at pajamas for Santa, and Santa's like, doesn't look like that.
I don't even get the Jewish pajamas, so don't even worry. We get an end cap.
And I'm like, well, why don't they have, a brown skin Santa? Like, what's wrong with that? And that was kind of the triggering thing for me. And I was like, I want to do something about that. Mm-hmm. But it's also very hard to find illustrators that are kind of good with that, which has been my struggle. But that is like the end goal, is I would love to be able to bring more of my culture, things that are relatable to my children, into fabrics and clothes that they get to wear.
Okay. I love that so much. This season, Michael's, I don't know if you saw it, but Michael's had a lot of black Santas. Did you see that?
Really? No.
Oh my God. The whole,
no.
Like
Michael's.
Whole sections of it. I think there were a little, not so much in Home Goods, but Michael's, I was like, oh, you guys are like doing it, like the stand-up ones, like everyone, or even nutcrackers. So I was like, cause I hadn't seen it. It wasn't in Target. Like I hadn't seen it anywhere. So I like that. And I like it so much better than you competing with all the PJ companies. And you're right. They're very like white leaning. That Instagram is my daughter. Whenever I pull out the stand, like, I'm going to be a Utah mom. Like, I'm not. I'm so far from a Utah mom, but like, it's my joke. So, and I agree, because like, I also feel excluded culturally a lot of times when it comes to the holidays and things like that. It's like, So luckily people started making, some Hanukkah pajamas. So I see that right now with the 500 units, you can't do it yet, but then that's what I want you to do. I want you to then show more representation of the kids that you want to serve and the families you want to serve. So right now your site is so cute, and it looks like some of the kids are like, I don't know if they're Asian or Hispanic.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. And adorable, but we might need to go just a little bit more extreme where they don't look like they could be like mixed. Does that make sense? Like, I want you to lean in so that you feel like you're being seen. That's what I want you to do. I want you to lean in, like the same way with like Pattern with Tracy Ellis Ross, her hair brand. Mm-hmm. I've started buying it because I do technically have curly hair, but she made it for black hair, and then she'll show it curl, kink, she has like the different levels of it. Right. And so I'm actually like, she's not making it for me, but I'm like, well, nobody really makes curly hair stuff that works. So let me try her stuff. But she's leaning in. She doesn't have white models with curly hair, right? Gotcha. Maybe they're mixed, but like they have the hair that she's trying to sell the product as a solution. Mm-hmm. So I want you to kind of like, I'm not saying redo your website or your photos, but maybe even in the social media you post, the remixes, we're not posting white families to, like white mom, like blonde moms. Like we're not doing that.
Right. Agreed. Yeah.
Share stuff that you feel like you're being seen and your family is like, you see the representation that you're looking for.
Right. I got you.
Yeah. That's going to hook. It's okay to repel. And I say repel meaning like, you don't need to bring everyone in. Everybody has something else. And I might still think this is adorable and come in. Same with like Pattern, right? but you're really trying to pull in your ideal customer because that's where you saw the gap in the market. And if you try and wash it out, then you're not going to stand out. So let's lean heavily in and pull that in.
Okay.
Ashley, it was so great working with you today. If people want to follow you on social media, buy from you and support you, where can they do that?
They can do so on Instagram at SaintsXIV, also on TikTok with the same handle. And we're coming to Twitter or X pretty soon as well.
Awesome. And then it's saintsandivy.com, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, awesome. It's a great website. So we'll drop all those links in the show notes, and everyone make sure to support Ashley and her new beautiful business.
Thank you.
All right, product bosses, that's a wrap on today's coaching session with Ashley. And I want to take a moment, just a quick moment, to reflect on what we covered, because I know so many of you are in a similar place. Listen, I know it's easy to feel like your sales aren't where you want them to be. Something must be wrong with this product, the pricing, the photos, the website. We're looking at all that. But what Ashley and I uncovered today, and what I want to remind you, is that sometimes the real issue isn't any of those things. I know it's not about the product. It's about the person that we're selling it to. It's about the customer. And it's about getting that right customer, that one customer, that ideal customer, to know that we actually exist. Awareness comes first, connection comes first, and sales come later. But here's the good news. Awareness is something that you can build. It's something that we can do. We can do it together. It doesn't happen overnight unless somehow you've gone viral or something massive happens. But typically, it will happen when you show up consistently with the right plan, when you focus on attracting your ideal customers, when you bond with them, you're marketing to them and marketing messaging that makes so much sense. You've built this brand. And then after all of that work happens, remember, I know some of you are like, I grew up on the internet and I never dated anyone other than swiping right or swiping left on an app. But back in my day, we'd go to a bar or we'd get introduced to someone and like you see, I'm just thinking like I see a cute guy across the room and it's like, hey, cute guy, you're cute. Let's have a conversation. Now, if he opens his mouth and he sounds silly, then I'm like, bye, cute guy. I don't want to talk to you. But if it's like, he says the right thing, he's cute, he's nice, we're going to take it a little bit further, right? We're going to keep talking. Maybe we get a drink. Maybe we exchange phone numbers. We don't get married that night. You got to think about your business in the same way, right? We got to know that there's stages to this. And there's these different connection points along the way. And when we do that along the way, that's when we start to see progression and when the needle moves. I've been with my husband for 21 years. So, I think back to like decades ago when people left their houses to meet people. But I just think it's such an incredible analogy because it just makes sense, right? We got to be attracted. When they see your candle, your jewelry, your shirt, your PJs, you want to attract the right customer, not everyone, the right one. And then we keep taking that connection further and further. And that's what comes with knowing who you're attracting, speaking to them through your brand voice, exchanging numbers, AKA your marketing, making the right sale to them at the right time. All this is so, so, so essential. And so if you're thinking, oh, I haven't really done that, that's okay. That's why you're here. That's why I've got workshops and programs and the podcast and all these different ways that I can support you in your entrepreneurial journey. I am here with you every step of the way. So maybe you're in those early stages, or maybe you're just feeling like these things, things are just a little too quiet. And I want you to hear this from me right now and directly, my friend. Don't give up. Keep showing up. Stay consistent. Because your audience will grow. Your ideal customer and customers are out there, and what you're doing matters. So thank you so much for listening today, for spending your time with me. Your time is so valuable. So thank you so much for being here and listening to the show and following the show. And if Ashley's story inspired you, I'd love for you to share this episode with another entrepreneur who needs a little encouragement on their journey. Because let's share. Sharing is caring, as my kindergarten teacher once said. All right, as always, I'm cheering you on every step of the way, and I'll see you in the next one.